Date: September 23rd, 1994. Place: Maple Hollow, a small town tucked into the Appalachian Mountains. Maple Hollow was known for three things: its annual maple syrup festival, its gossip-loving residents, and the town's fiercely competitive bake-off. Every year, the bake-off pitted neighbors against one another in a battle of pies, cakes, and cookies, all vying for the coveted golden spatula trophy. This year, the bake-off promised to be more dramatic than ever. On the one hand, you had Mabel Jenkins, a sweet-looking but fiercely competitive grandmother with a history of sabotaging rival soufflés. On the other hand, there was Todd Henderson, a 27-year-old mechanic who had never baked a day in his life, but had somehow signed up after losing a bet at the Rusty Wrench Tavern. Todd's friends thought it was hilarious. "Come on, Todd," his buddy Jake had said, slapping him on the back. "How hard can it be? Just throw some sugar in a pan and call it a day." Determined not to embarrass himself entirely, Todd decided to bake his mom's famous apple pie. But when he called her for the recipe, she said, "Oh, I don't really measure anything. I just do a little of this and a little of that." Armed with a vague list of ingredients and zero experience, Todd spent the night before the bake-off in his kitchen. By the time he finished, the counters were coated in flour. His dog, Rusty, was licking a suspiciously sticky spot on the floor, and his pie looked more like a deflated soccer ball. "Good enough," Todd muttered, shoving the pie into a box. The next morning, the bake-off was in full swing. The town square was bustling with laughter, music, and the smell of freshly baked goods. Judges sat at a long table, ready to taste everything from Mabel's triple-layer chocolate cake to 12-year-old Lily Parker's peanut butter cookies. When it was Todd's turn, he placed his lopsided pie in front of the judges with a sheepish grin. "It's rustic," he said, hoping to spin its odd appearance as intentional. Judge number 1 took a bite and immediately froze. Judge number 2 politely spat theirs into a napkin. Judge number 3, however, went for a second bite. "This is interesting," said Judge number 3, squinting at the pie as if it were a puzzle. "Is that cumin?" Todd blinked. "Cumin? No, I don't think. Wait. Maybe." He recalled accidentally grabbing a jar of cumin instead of cinnamon at 2 a.m. The crowd erupted in laughter when the judges announced that Todd's pie was the most unique entry we've ever had. Meanwhile, Mabel Jenkins was crowned champion for the 5th year in a row. But the real twist came later that evening. As Todd sat at the diner nursing a cup of coffee, a stranger approached him. "Hey," the man said, holding out a business card. "I'm from a cooking show in the city. We're always looking for new talent with unconventional approaches." Todd stared at the card, then at the man. "Are you serious?" "Dead serious," the man replied. Todd never did win a bake-off, but he